Four-star U.S. Army General Charles Hamilton. General, great to have you on the show. Here is the way that Karoline Leavitt phrased it, the president's new timeline at today's press briefing. Watch.
I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks."
So what do you think, General? Why 2 weeks? Is it to move assets or give diplomacy a chance?
Hey, Trace, thanks for having me on. Well, it gives him some decision space. I think it's brilliant on his part because what he did, he put himself in a position to dictate the pace of the operation. He didn't let a tactical situation on the ground drive him to a very strategic decision too quickly. So he's given himself 2 weeks to make a decision. That sends a message to Iran that perhaps they have 2 weeks to get their act together and come to a diplomatic solution, or he's going to, authorize a military strike. And so I think in that way he's given himself an opportunity, and his folks on the ground, especially his envoy, to keep the talks going with the Iranian officials.
Meantime, Sky News writes the following here, General. Militarily, it's not clear how successful a bunker busting strike on Fordow would be. Experts have suggested it would require several of the massive bombs, which have never been used in combat before, to be dropped on the site. It is not as simple as one clean strike and job done. I mean, is it possible that the only way to ensure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon is to have Iran agree that they're not going to get a nuclear weapon?
Well, I think that would be obviously the first option. It probably is not likely because they covet that opportunity to have a nuclear weapon and have that power. So that's probably not going to happen. But I do think our military is one of the most rehearsed, well-studied operations that we've got going into Fordow. And so I think we'd be successful. As you know, these are 30,000-pound bombs with a penetrating. They can penetrate, they have a delayed fuse, and then once that blast goes off, it can go up to the centrifuge and disable the nuclear capability.
Yeah, Politico reports the following here, that U.S. Central Command Chief General Eric Kurilla has a lot of influence, going on to say all of his requests have been approved, from more aircraft carriers to fighter planes in the region. The pugnacious general, who is known as the Gorilla, is overruling other top Pentagon officials and playing a quiet but decisive role in the country's next steps on Iran. I mean, does it seem like that's a fair assessment? Is he getting, does he have a lot of sway, do you think, in this area, this region?
Well, I would say that all combatant commanders have a lot of sway. I mean, he's in charge of that theater. At this point, he's reporting directly to the Secretary of Defense and the President. I'm sure perhaps he was in on the conversation in the Situation Room today. So they're going to give him a lot of latitude because at the end of the day, he's responsible for the soldiers, airmen, Marines on the ground. And so he's got a lot of responsibility.
Yeah. Charles Hamilton, sir, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.